behind. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up.
And so, at long last, the championship is decided and conquered by one. But for now, the drivers have just one last thing on their minds, and one last thing, they need a place at the forefront. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to PTM Racing TV, and welcome to the Pit Stall Summer Series live on the showcase here at the famed Phoenix International Raceway. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Chris Shaw, joining you guys here today as the season finale comes to you guys live here with the drivers. The drivers are currently getting set in motion, set on the board for the action at hand here and the racing they are about to commence with. Before we get to all that, of course, here I want to mention something here real quick that unfortunately we have had a little bit of a situation go down for some of our drivers and some folks, unfortunately. So tonight might not be the night I think a lot of drivers were expecting. And our thoughts and prayers are with them, and we'll get more into that later on into this race. So, but as of course we've all known before, we all know on the track here, a lot of great drivers, a lot of great fans and people alike coming to the track, coming to the show, ready to bring all their love and support to you guys. And right now, that is what they are here to do today. So, without further ado and further ado, I think it's about time we really start kicking things up a notch and really get down to the track, get down to the racing here in just a little bit. Our field of drivers right now currently are under the track here, getting ready to ramp up and race out here on the track. It's going to be interesting to see how everyone plays out and how everyone does here on the showcase. Currently, I am having a little bit of a mic issue on my end. I don't know what's going on there. So, may have to kind of revert every now and then into the show, but that's what we're going to kind of have to do here. So, hopefully, not too bad.
Not too bad.
So you may hear my voice double up a little bit. I do apologize in advance. Not really much I can do about that. So, but anyway, we're going to get down to business here. Let's get down to the track here and take a listen to some of our guys here. Let's listen in real quick with the famed Tim Lee. Tim, you got a copy down there? Tim, you got a copy down there?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, Tim, welcome to the show. Welcome to the season finale, man. Good to have you on board. And with a hard race that's fought over the season, I mean, how you guys feel today?
Yeah, it's the last one. I think Derek's pretty much wrapped it up. So we're looking forward to closing this one out, which has been a really good, fun 12 race season with a lot of good drivers. And like I said, this is always family. And unfortunately, we got the unfortunate news of Michael Taylor's 3-month-old grandson passing this morning, and that was a big shock and kind of really hit home. And so we're gonna do our best to have fun tonight, but we're gonna remember, right? I think that's what we do. We're family here, and it's unfortunate. It really is, and it's one of those ones that you can't even. There's nothing you can really say, but we can honor the kid the best that we can and do our part. So, but I'm looking forward to tonight, and after tonight we hit the schedule and see what next season, our fall, winter season, will kick off a couple weeks after this one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
We're starting to look forward to as well there, Tim. But I know also before we kind of get into that race as well, we are told as well that there will be a moment of silence for the driver's son as well as family for them. Can you confirm on that for the fans at home today?
Yeah, yeah. Lap one's going to be dedicated to that poor little guy, and we're going to honor him that way. So we're looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to it as well. But nevertheless, race as well. Definitely going to mean a lot more to you guys out there. So our best wishes of luck to you with the teams.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Lee, ladies and gentlemen. You'll probably hear me going back and forth real quick on the mics as well. Just kind of be aware that it's just us pretty much working with the field, working with the teams, trying to make sure we can hear everybody in our spots and in our shots here today. So go ahead. We're going to go ahead and bring in now the driver in the Corey Coe camp here. He joins me now on the show. Corey, you got a copy down there?
Yeah, man, you got me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear here, sir. Right now, currently, as you get ready to round it out here at Phoenix. I know it's been a long season, but this 9 crew has stood the test of time and kept in the Mid-Atlantic up.
Yeah, I'm just going to try my best to stay out of the guy's way that's fighting for, I guess, 2nd through 5th for the point standings, because I think Derek's pretty much got it wrapped up, and they've already got his name engraved on the trophy. So I'm just going to be taking some notes from them guys up front, let them do their thing, and just kind of have an easy night.
For sure there, Corey. Is there any big things, though, with Phoenix you're going to try to watch out for more than anything?
Well, I hadn't had a lot of practice laps, had something going on this evening, but I'm getting in, making some adjustments and looking at the track. But is that, when using the majority of the track on the, I know it's been switched around over the years, but you can use so much of the track and people coming back up in the normal groove and then before they enter corners, and I just don't want to be stuck to where somebody just lamb blasts you on the left side coming off of that. So you got to be very, very cognizant of that when you're in that area of the track.
For sure, there. Whenever you got your hands full and your core cut out for you. So best wishes of luck to you and the crew.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Corey Coe, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Coe right now getting ready for his action on the track, getting ready to set him up on the field here. We'll take a listen in now with the number 45 driver. Of course, ahead in the BK Paints, he's ran that scheme all the time here. He's ran it up on the track here. It is the big 45, ladies and gentlemen, and the Chevrolet Silverado. Big K boy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
There he is. We're doing pretty good on our end here. Only 2 minutes left in practice. Phoenix has been kind of one of those tire track, fuel mileage tracks. I mean, where's one set for you guys today?
Couldn't hear you there. What was that?
This is kind of been one of those fuel and tire mileage tracks. I mean, where does one of those set for you at Phoenix today?
Well, I'm kind of hoping everything's going to work out for me tonight. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But we're going to give it our best shot.
Give it your best shot, indeed. I know there's a lot at stake and a lot in the works here, but you and the crew, I mean, what's it mean to get this championship season all wrapped up and get ready for the fall and winter stuff?
Yeah, I'd really like to get into the playoffs. I think I'm there. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I haven't had some bad races the past few races, but hopefully this one's going to be a little bit better.
Sure there. All right. Well, Tim, thank you for your time here, buddy. Best of luck out here.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Williams. Well, last up on the bunch here, guys. We're ready to go race and get down to it here on the track. So, without further ado, really, I think without further investigation, I think we are set for the action. We're set for the race pace. There's like about 30 seconds left on the clock. Derek Paulson has indeed clinched the title, so the title belongs to him, of course, for this one. A very, very overwhelming race and night for him. A huge win for that crew and that team. Definitely well-deserved and well-needed, so definitely going to be interesting to see how well these guys hang on and how they fight off on the track today, but still, with a lot of guys ready to come out here and ready to fire it off on the sunset views. Who will be able to take this one home? We're about to find out here on PTM Racing TV. Presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing here. Be sure to get your customized tees and designs up from them at fortworthscreenprinting.com. Also take a listen and look over at the Twitch channel of John T. Garrett. That Twitch channel here helps support and show his love and support for the racing community as well as his racing career. So big congratulations to him, and thank you for everybody that helps him out and helps us out on the show. Fort Worth Screen Printing again, though, thank you so much for your support this entire season. And without further ado, our final qualifying session of the Summer Series for the pit stalls have now begun. Entering onto the stage here, Anthony Poston will post up his first number in the number 6. First lap is a hot lap, warm-up lap if you will. And then we'll set the fastest time with 2 qualifying laps. So just to be aware as well, folks, one thing we want to make very clear here on the broadcast, that we will only be doing the winner's interview at the end of the race. Derek Paulson has already won the championship, but if he does come out and win the race itself, then we will go ahead and interview him about that. We'll give him a couple things to ask, but that will be the only time we have. We are on a very tight schedule here, so we're going to have to work with what we got here, but thankfully the drivers were very accommodating. The broadcasters, of course, helping us out big time with the producers. So big thank you to them as we're currently just figuring and staturing out our final days under the old Sim Racing Apps banner, as well as our little vacation extra time, I guess you could say. So big thank you to everybody that's worked with us here at PTM Racing TV and helped us out through this really elongated journey, to be honest with you guys. So nevertheless, though, as we continue to fight out the drives and fight out positions, final legs of the race here being thrown off here. Derek Paulson already sets the fastest time at 27.36, fast set. It's a good time there by the number 17, but now coming onto the track here, of course, in the big 21 machine, that is Robert Kahn, although there seems to be a problem with Kahn already. Both laps seem to not have set a bar. He has crashed out the right side, and it looks like the Freightliner 21 of Robert Kahn is going to have some more difficulties trying to get that second spot in the second place finish overall. Onto the stage though now in the big 98 machine, running with a very heavy heart today. It is the 98, as he will be driving not just for himself but for his grandson. This is going to be a huge moment for him, of course, in a very tough race, tough to endure, but nevertheless his time was the 5th fastest so far. His second lap is going to collapse in still the same time, so he will have the best lap as his 5th fastest overall in the entire journey. So puts him somewhere right in the mid pack there. It'll be interesting to see how long it'll last and how well it can go down for him. But Michael definitely running with a heavy heart today, and we will be sharing the photo as a moment of silence here later on. So just kind of bear with us here, guys, when we get to that. Also wanted to remind you all at home and keep in mind that we will be posting photos after said race, but it will not be up till tomorrow. So you'll see YouTube up probably tomorrow morning, somewhere at that time. So for Facebook users, you're getting the live action coverage now. YouTube, don't worry, we didn't forget you, but just kind of got to work off what we got here. So please be patient here, guys. We love you all so much for that, and thank you for all your time and help. 6 minutes left on the clock though, and the field will pretty much kind of settle themselves up and get ready to go. So also, if you guys are listening as well, keep in mind, I can now say on camera, I did catch COVID, so my voice still may be a little shoddy. My throat was a little bit off, and I'll say this right now, I wish it upon nobody. So it was a horrible time to get around, but I guarantee you it was a not probably as horrible as unfortunately some of these guys have gone through this season, from heartbreaks to unfortunate to soul-crushing losses earlier this week, unfortunately. So this race definitely not only benefiting a lot of folks out there and helping out a lot of guys out here, but this is really, in my opinion, going to really set the tone, set the field, and really get everybody in a position, in a spot that I think many of them will want to kind of live back off and look on very fondly. Now, going into this race as well, Derek Paulson has locked up the championship, so it didn't really matter what he did in qualifying. He's already got the title locked up. But in the race itself tonight, actually, Anthony Poston, Tim Williams, Len McNeese, Robert Kahn, and Michael Taylor are all battling for that second spot in the championship running. That is a huge deal for them, as they've always known. They want to claim a spot on the throne and a spot on the top of the castle, on top of the mountain. This is a very, very tall order and a bit of a big deal for them, and they know it too. So they're going for whatever they can, trying to get the most out of their equipment, the best out of their speeds. They're trying to prove themselves at one of the toughest tracks to win in Mastron, because Lord knows I've ran this track enough times to know and tell you guys it is not an easy track. A mile in length, it is an absolute hornet's nest of endurance and control of not only your equipment, but also just dealing with the track. As this place, again, has tore up some tires, tore up some speeds, and tore up some real body panels on these things. I've had my tire blow out literally to the line coming to on the final lap out of 4. Managed to at least get that win in. We've seen drivers run out of fuel, blow tires off a turn 2 from the embankment there, coming from the dog leg end. I've seen drivers literally throw caution to the wind and actually take others out just because of something that may have happened somewhere else, or that had happened on this very same track. It is a wild goose case of a track, and it's a bit of a curious case, if you will, that can only be matched by its absolute monarchy of control and stability. And it makes for one heck of a finish here, and that's why we're getting ready for the Pit Stall Summer Series to finalize this race in its conclusive nature. 3 minutes left on the clock here. All drivers have qualified and set a time, or have tried to set a time in the case of Khan, because he did not qualify. As a matter of fact, he DNF'd on that one. Both times were not able to connect and were unfortunately made by contact position. So he'll have to score and settle what he was given in terms of position overall spots. So on the pole, though, right now it will be Derek Paulson, the 17. The 45 will be Tim Williams. And then the outside then will be Anthony Poston, the 51. Tim Lee will be in the 24 in row number 2 on the outside. In row number 3, then it should be Michael Taylor, who is piloting, I believe, the 98 today. Yep, the 98, although his car number's blacked out. He'll be driving the 98 in this case. And then the 9 will be Corey Cohen is outside. So that leaves on the lineup here Robert Kahn and Jeffrey Todd Tufts, as well as Eric Blount, with Douglas Johnson and Michael Campbell, the only ones that did not get a qualifying lap put on the track or were DNQ'd or DNF'd due to unfortunate circumstances, which usually involves having contact on the track. iRacing does not tolerate that. So race fans, right now currently, as we get settled onto the track, settled onto the show, the field is ready to start fighting and battling it out. Up in the corners and up in the turns. The guys currently just getting settled up here. Of course, right before the race, we will be doing a quick little moment of silence. We will all be going silent on our ends on the track. And we give a little love to a youngster we have unfortunately lost way too early in his life. 20 seconds left here, so we are now almost set here. The guys are now pretty much ready to go. They just need to get the trucks on the track and let them fire them off and settle the score here at Phoenix International Raceway. So that is how our lineup will be set. It looks like Khan will be in the 7th spot, Blau in the 6th spot, in the 8th spot, excuse me. And in the 9th slot here, you'll see will be Douglas R. Johnson, and then Michael E. Campbell and Jeffrey Todd Tufts to round out your top 11. All right, fans, here we go. We are now set to go. The field is in motion and ready to go. We will let them go around, and then we will do a moment of silence. Everybody will go silent on our end, and we will be going silent as well. Field currently just getting ready. Heavy hearts in the stands, heavy hearts in the pits, heavy hearts inside those cockpits. It's one of the hardest things to go through in life. Seeing a fallen brother, fallen driver, unfortunately go through something that you just never want to see, never want to have to go through at any time. And that's exactly what these guys are going to be having to go through for just a minute or two before we even get into this race. Bring them on the track here, race fans. We'll keep our eye here on the 98 of Michael Taylor, as we will be going silent here in just a moment. It'll be a 120 lap race to the distance here for this finale. But before, of course, all that, a moment of silence for his friends, family, and loved ones. Tonight, we will salute a fallen brother, youngster, a fallen family member, a loved one taken too soon. This is for Michael Taylor's grandson. We miss you dearly so. Our 20 laps down to the corners, and we set a myth to go. Green flag is out in Avondale, Arizona, as we get back on track and we get the mics back up and running here out of the gate. Derek Paulson takes the early advantage in the 17. Tim Williams in the BK Paints 45 stays low. Laying low right now, letting Anthony Post in the big six come ahead. Tim driving up towards the outside line, trying to save the tires. Trying to save the truck, trying not to overpower everything just yet, but there is a problem down there in the corner. Jeffrey Todd Tufts, the 72. Big spin off of turn number 2, and problems for the 72 Denso machine. Dot Tufts with some problems down there, unfortunately. Loses control down into corner number 2. Looked like he came off the dog leg and kind of lost a little bit of that control and speed there, and unfortunately found himself in a bad opposition. Your PTMS replay is presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing. Could have been he just didn't quite get the tires warmed up. If you over throttle it too quickly here, it can easily cost you quite a bit of time. He slammed that wall pretty hard there. Wheels turned in quickly. Could have lost power steering for just a minute. Hard to really say. Very big wreck, though, in a very tight little spot to find himself into this early in the race. We'll take a look at it from the onboard camera here. Just get a better idea of like what exactly went wrong here. Like you can hear right here, as soon as he got back on the gas, he was still turning in hard. Ren was already kicking out. Once you lost feel and you lose grip, then it's pretty much game over. There ain't no getting back from it. He knew it, and he tried to drive off from it. Definitely not the way he was expecting that to come around, and not the way he was expecting this to start up, but unfortunately, that is how the race goes sometimes. And Tim Lee in the 24 will take the early lead now yet again. Of course, behind him, though, is big 98 and Michael Taylor here. We'll see if Michael can start figuring this thing out just a little bit. Start to drive in a little bit more and figure out more than we can. Michael with his grandson riding on the outside of him there, of course, in that driver's seat. He's right behind him. And right beside him, as always. Field will drive back and we will double up again. Field will march their way around off the distance and back into the corners here. Tim Lee and Michael Taylor will have the runner up again. See what happens now from here. As you've seen, of course, Derek Paulson going into pit road early. Tim Williams doing much of the same here. So going to be interesting to see how that strategy plays out and if it will work out okay for them in the end. Back off of turn 4 into the Fort Worth Screen Printing restart zone. We are back underway. Green flag high in the air. 3 wide salute through the dog leg. Looks like a little bit of a problem there for Corey Coe, and that 9 machine has a little bit of a flare up on his end. Opened the door up now for Tim Lee to have more company coming from the side. Michael Taylor getting a big push in the 98, and for the first time this season today, he's dressed in all black and he's blacked out. But he is painting this world black as he wants it that way. But Khan now on the outside looking to try to give a little bit of a cleanup job on that. Adds a little red and paints himself into the first place spot. The 21 now has the lead. Taylor having the lead for a brief moment there, but may have backed off and let Khan just kind of do his own thing and worry about him later. Khan always told me that was one track he struggled at more than anything. It was either Phoenix or it was Homestead. He says he can never just get these tracks figured out. He's never been a tire guy. This place always gave him the most headaches and the most fits. Well, it doesn't seem to be doing that now. Onboard camera here right now with the number 6 here of Eric Blount, as now Blount finds himself in a very precarious situation there. Blood up the number 17, Derek Paulson. Paulson managing to get around him on the outside. Firing it back, though, through turn number 1 and 2. And it is currently the Rattlesnake who has the lead, the opposition at hand as he continues to race him off. Coming in back in a little bit off the round spots and off the corners here. Everyone's still hanging in there. Again, it really just kind of falls on a compressionable line here. It really just depends on like what you want to do. Do you want to try and maybe stick it out for a part of the race and just end up not find yourself kind of clambered in to a bad spot, or do you want to try to make moves quickly so that everybody else has to find a way to pass you? Because once those tires start to fade in a bit, it becomes very, very difficult to win out from, and these guys know it too. Dawson right now doing a great job in the 17 MF Racing Designs, looking to try to continue his might and continue his will. Might isn't always right, but he certainly likes to think that, and he's been doing a great job this season, really pushing the boundaries and strengthening up his corners and cornering up everybody that gets in his way. Michael Taylor right now doing a pretty good job here, keeping up pace with the old rattlesnake of Robert Kahn. Kahn, no stranger to winning championships either. I think he's got like 4 or 5 of them just from Pedal to Metal Racing League alone, and how many seasons they've ran on the iRace server, that is. On the NASCAR Heat, he was pretty much almost invincible. It actually took me down once in a championship race for the Truck Series at Homestead. The only time I was able to get around him, I had to block him, and he pretty much just said that was what fueled me up to making that move on you, so thanks for that. So I'm glad I could help at the end of the day. It was pretty funny, though. Tim Williams there in the 485. I don't think he's laughing too much, though. A little damage on that right side, and the fenders may have cooked in a little bit. Maybe kind of benched out a bit too much, and maybe turning the truck more into like a parachute on the straightaways. The last thing you want to do is damage any kind of equipment on tracks like this, because you need a little bit of that aerodynamics and speed and efficiency to gain the most ground at speed and coverage on tracks like this. And he knows it too. That's why he's really watching himself as you continue to see him mark through the corners and marking on to take on Anthony Poston and the number 6 machine as we go on board here with Blount. Another thing to know, let's now gingerly hear Blount getting in and off the throttle. Again, that's really a tire saving mechanism he's doing. He's trying to not over start those entries, but he's not trying to turn up so much where he loses speed and ground, so he's really trying to find a rhythm. Best way to get around this track, in my opinion, find a rhythm, stick to it, and then depending on how many laps you got to go with, you go to it. Some guys like to try to plan out fuel runs. Some guys like to try to plan out a tire run. I've always been more of a tire guy on this track. If I can get the fuel to kind of match up, then that's pretty much a sailed set and approval. But generally on iRacing, compared to what you would do on like the NASCAR Heat servers and stuff, you'd actually have to worry more about your tire than you had the fuel. In this case, it's going to be more towards fuel. Oh, nice save though by the 6 Eddie Poston. Great driving there by everybody else and Eric Blount to get around him. Poston slams that wall protection there off of corner number 2, and the 6 nearly goes for a wild ride. Great save, but could have ended in true bad shot there, and could have ended in a bad angle. He'll hang on to it for now, but that's going to be a very little black eye on his own truck. He knows it too. 388 of Douglas Johnson right now trying to stay with the field, stay with the packs, but he's already lost a lot of ground. Even Jeffrey Todd Tuff's kind of gone ahead of it by a little bit here. Douglas R. Johnson, not one of those guys you can really take too lightly. He has put up some numbers before, can put up the run, could put up a time. I think his biggest problem, his most overarching problem, has always been just staying out of trouble. It seems like no matter what he does, whether it's in small groups or big groups, he seems to find himself kind of narrowly avoiding the rest and the worst of the problems on the tracks. 13 score 292, by the way, Silverado Chevrolet, that is being driven tonight by Michael Campbell. Campbell currently moving ahead of the Ford F-150, the pit stall, number 24 of Tim Lee, as Campbell currently tries to hunt down the big 72 of Dodds Ups. Let's go on board here as Campbell looks to hunt down the big 7-2. one guy that knew how to kind of run around the track pretty well and knew how to kind of put up a number every now and then and maybe open up the box of chocolates every so often. It was definitely Todd Tuff's. This season it's been rather mediocre, to say the least. Not going to put anything lightly at him, but literally just a couple weeks ago came out and almost stunned the racing world by popping away with the victory, only to a darn fuel strategy cost him dearly that he was being put back and sent back around. Was not able to keep up. But as since stated and since said that he is not going to hold back on anything there. He wants to get back with this crew, wants to get back with this field come fall and the winter series. And if I was told right, I think we will be back with them as well, and we can't wait for that. So right now, though, it is Campbell currently hunting down the number 72 as a 292 here, close to the mark, close to Brigade here as we just kind of watch on. Todd making a big opening here in that 72. The 292 sees his mark, gets his chance. Well, had a chance, but didn't quite steal it or take it. Todd driving extremely hard, though, and I think that may be just kind of due to his aggressive nature. He's always been a pretty aggressive guy when it comes to how he corners and how he runs, and I think he's hoping that'll work here, but Evie Campbell is getting pretty oppositious here, pretty suspicious where to get him from and where to go for him on that track. Meanwhile, a race later, Robert Kahn, 2.5 seconds ahead of the field so far in the Freightliner 21. Looking to increase the lead. And not only that, but just increase his dominance of wins and perfections on the tour and on the track. You know, there's one thing we always talked about with Kahn. It's just how difficult and how tough it is just to knock him off the leaderboards, how difficult it is just trying to knock him off anything that involves a race pace. He loves that kind of stipulation. He loves that kind of style of racing. Said the only thing he's just never been a huge fan of was having to deal with the plate tracks for one reason. He says, if I don't have my partner, I don't have a driver I know I can push around a little bit, it's very difficult to actually make any proper moves or actually proper chances on the track. Well, he certainly is getting he's certainly getting the way he likes to do it, which is all on his own. But here, Paulson getting a big gift from the 98. Tyler driving way too hard down from corner number 2. Came off the exit, slammed the wall protection. And now it's Paulson who takes control of the second place spot. Meanwhile, the 45, Tim Williams now starting to slowly but surely kind of creep in a little bit on that 98. Tim Williams, man, we can't talk about anyone else other than him, really, just for his overall performance this season. The 45 team, bad fast, tough to gain, tough to gravel. This guy is kind of like a young cat, if you will. I know he's not a complete young cat, but it's hard to kind of tell sometimes because usually he's out there fighting and putting up some numbers. Marking right. Oh, hold on a minute there, old Williams. Yeah, got a little bit closer with that 98 of Taylor. Michael Taylor and him almost kind of reached in and almost kind of went for a little ride there. Both guys managing to stay out of trouble, but it looks like Taylor is starting to have some mechanical problems here on that right side. Looks like his right front fender may have been torn off on the lug nut there. We'll see if we can get a look at that. Not the wall protection though, guys. Get that camera out of there. There we go. Yeah, look at the right side of that fender on the top lip. You can see right just above it. You can see it is kind of tore down to that tire. Instead of giving it airflow, it's actually decreased the amount of breathing room it gets. So that is actually hurting the truck more than it is actually helping it. not a good sign here. You need all the airflow you can get around with these things, and the speeds and overwhelming power needs to be at full dressed and full hands on deck, as we always say. Kind of shooting it through the dog leg as well there as they come right off down from the corners. You guys may be wondering, wait a minute, why are they coming through a dog leg? Like, why did I not see that on other tracks? Well, this is a bit of a unique little track, to say the least. Actually allows for not only 4 wide, but 5, 6 wide racing sometimes. And it can be an absolute clinic of a controlled state to have to work around and having to figure out. So Williams making that pass there around. Robert Kahn currently still your race leader here as Derek Paulson tries to hunt him down. Tim Williams now, after losing all that time as well with Taylor, now has to figure out how to get back up to with him there. It's going to be a bit of a slow burn, kind of a tough 10 little track to kind of work around. That's Corey Coe, and the big 9 looks to now try to get up there to Anthony Poston in the 6. Now, I already know what you guys are going to say. I mean, well, wait a minute. I'm seeing on that little scoreboard you got there, old Crusader, that's literally a 51. That's a 6. Like, how does that make any sense? Well, let me introduce you to iRacing's little old physics, because what you see is the sim number that is given when entering into the lobby, entering into the sim. So that is iRacing saying that is what they're giving him, but on the truck itself, it's designed to the driver's liking, to the design of their nature, and he wanted that 6 on that truck, same way Corey Coe wants the 9, so that's what he has, and that is a custom designed up machine, whereas it usually would be sim stamped with a number palette and everything else that iRacing provides. So some drivers just like to actually match and mesh in well with the actual scheme, and that's one good way to do it, I can tell you that much. Meshing it up a little bit too. Look out for Corey Coe. Gonna mix the Mid-Atlantic Twitch number 9 Silverado right in with the Tundra of Poston. Poston trying to hold the line there. Staying in the outside line does force the 9 to actually have to drive a little bit in deeper to get a pass on him, but turn 4, it's a little bit different because of that dog leg, and it forces the 9 of Coe to actually get around and get up into position. Poston now will try to fight back at him. Both guys in opposition, optical spots here in opposition places. Both are looking for a runoff here. Poston trying to find a way around the inside of Corey Coe. Corey now on defensive mode, trying to hang on. Either driver giving an inch so far. Poston still looking for some room. Coe knows he's there. I gotta believe right now Coe's probably just sweating a little bit, thinking he's right behind him, breathing down his neck. On board here with the number 6. Get that little actually downshift, then back into upshift there on the 6 of Poston. That was actually to try to get the RPMs up a little higher to gain more speed and clout. Usually when you see that done, it's usually because you'll see a lot of guys kind of move into position, move up the corners, and move up the stakes just a little bit, because the higher the RPMs are, the faster they can get in speed. But can be a little bit tricky here on this kind of a track because, well, let's just say it can be a bit of a rough scotch, if you will. Robert Kahn right now currently leads the pack and leads the field in as the 388 of Douglas R. Johnson gets out of the way of the Rattlesnake, and Kahn is about halfway done with this. Corey Coe now, after that huge battle he was going through earlier on with Eric Brown, unfortunately now after a pit road stop and have to find himself kind of in a unique little spot position as Rattlesnake Robert Kahn now focuses his attention to him. Right now the way Kahn's looking, I think he's going to try to get the most laps out of his fuel gauge and out of his truck. I think that's really kind of his plan here. His contingency move is to hopefully spot a right time, spot a right shot to hit in the dark and hit on the point. But if I had to put my money on anybody right now, I'd say Derek Paulson might be starting to click away a bit. He's getting a lot of ground, and you're seeing those straightaways. He's getting a lot of speed on the old Rattlesnake. Rattlesnake Robert Kahn may need to be careful about that. He knows he can't lose too much time, and he knows he can't lose too much on him. It could be a very bad spot to be thrown into. So Paulson right now 2 seconds behind the field and behind the pace here of Kahn. Not out of it yet, though. Michael Campbell in the 292 after his pit road stops now. Looks like he's going to try to make a little bit of a comeback. He has moved into the top 5. So, opportunity. Could await him. Could strike off quite a bit here. We'll have to see. So the 13 score 292 has had a bit of a run in this season as well. Some of it due to just unfortunate timing, and some of it also just due to really, I guess you could say, lack of trying. But that's not to say that he can't somehow find a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a push around here. He needs to start dipping and diving a little bit more and start digging deep inside to go for a run. I want to remind you all at home, thank you again so much for viewing us here on your earlier showcase with the Venom Truck Series, and viewing right now with us here in the season finale of the Summer Series here at Phoenix Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona. We thank and appreciate every single one of you guys for coming on out. Also, if you have not heard from earlier and you're just now listening in, tomorrow will be the for sure last broadcast telecast we have on our simracingapps.com stuff, because by then I will be flying back home, and thankfully, so we'll be leaving to get back to actual PTN Race TV headquarters. Thankfully, the producers, though, were kind enough to allow us to use their equipment, use their setup, and help run the coverage to get these calls in for these drivers and these fans that come out to see them time and time again, week after week. So appreciate the heck out of them for all that. And believe me when I say to my folks over at home, I miss you, love you guys. Thank you so much for being patient. I can't wait to be home. So, but for now, I am still feeling pretty right at home, seeing the drivers on the track and seeing this racing action go on as the Pit Stall Summer Series continue to do their thing and do their battle. As Tim Lee in the 24, now the 6th spot may just be in for a little bit of a Robert Kahn ticket because the Freightliner is now a freight train ending up to him. Kahn coming up quickly as a 24 here. Tim Lee tries to hold him back and hold him off the charge. Kahn moving into position, looking for some room. Tim Lee parking up on the outside line. Derek Paulson in the 17 looking to go quick and clambering back until he slams the wall, but that did slow down Kahn a bit. Watch out for Paulson. This is what I was talking about earlier. I had my eye on him for a reason. This is why. Nearly halfway in, and Paulson finally using the tires up and finally starting to come for the Rattlesnakes bumper here. Kahn was nervous about kind of racing this kind of style and kind of going at it with this kind of playing field. And Paulson showing a little bit more of the expertise he has, not only in the truck division, but also with these kind of racers, these kind of drivers. He's putting the boost to Kahn, and Kahn knows it too. Remember, Kahn had to drive quick and had to drive pretty hard on the tank, but you remember Paulson had gone into pit road earlier on, so he can now last out till the halfway marker for sure. Kahn, no idea where he stands on that, where he's going to last. All I do know is we've got a battle in Brigade. Paulson desperately trying to hug the yellow line, trying to keep Kahn at his door panel. Coming through the brigades right now. Kahn hence himself into pit road. Which means now Paulson can have his wish and have his way. He has the race lead all but locked up. Tim Williams trying to hunt him down. Halfway done with this race so far, and currently it's been a battle of control, battle of just overall slight position and fit and control of the track. So pit stops now being made here. 45 Tim Williams going in. Currently our race leader, Derek Paulson, has already entered in pit road. Eric Blount, currently the only one that has been in pit road and gotten out of pit road. It's continuing to make the 6 just work its way around the track. The Excited Batteries Toyota Tundra number 6 will stay out for just a little longer. So with that said, he does take the race lead, and right now currently just trying to continue to shorten out the track, shorten out the distance. Just watching his pace, watching his momentum. Blount has been very strategical in his contentions and his racing moves. I'm not seeing anything too differently here. It looks like right now he's just trying to stay focused, stay on the mark, and really watch laps go on by. But Khan, about 20 seconds back, will try to hunt him down with these 56 laps remaining. Not going to be an easy challenge or an easy task, though. He knows it, too. And Paulson back out as well. Has his hands absolutely full, just trying to get back to Khan's bumper here. He's going to have quite a workaround, to say the least, here. And this is not looking too good, as currently he is still up on the binders and up on the track slate here. He is still in third, though. So his pit stop able to at least outclass and outdo Tim Williams, but Tim Williams not exactly out of this one just yet. He's got his back bumper back onto the 9 of Torrey Coe, who is currently running in the 4th slot, looking to take it over here. He'll run him down in turn number 2, looking for first position. And again, I do apologize in advance if my breathing sounds a bit off, or my talk sounds off. Remember, guys, I'm just getting over COVID, so unfortunately I can't really do much about it. Corey on the outside, barked in, the 45. Tim Williams swings it to the inside, and it's now the BK Paint Chevrolet Silverado who takes control. Tim Williams moves into 4th. Third now. Corey Coe will have to fall back. Eric Blount has gone to pit road. Robert Kahn now regains the lead. Derek Paulson right now currently dealing with lap traffic with Michael E. Campbell in the 292 as the 17 continues to charge and march and fight and scratch and claw and dip and dive for everything he's got to get to the rattlesnake. He's done it once already, but now can he do it again? Field now, 50 laps to go. Lap starting to click off, though, for Paulson and Kahn. Kahn knows he may have the lead right now, but he is far from escaping the route of the rest of the field. Knows he could be in a bit of a bind and could be in a bit of a pickle if he's not too careful here. Field starting to just kind of stretch off, kind of distance themselves out a little bit. It's something you see a lot of here on these kind of tracks, these kind of races here. It's when the field just kind of lowers its kind of work around, kind of lowers itself opportunistically. Doesn't really worry about who's where, who's what, or what's going on. Focuses more on overall drive, overall work. and control. Field's starting to clamber away a little bit here, and you can see Anthony Poston currently now even dealing with a little bit of company to his back door. Tim Lee in the 24 machine looking to try to get to the 6. Looking for a bit of a run here as he starts to move and banter his way into the field. See the 6 now, Poston starting to lose ground traction a bit. Dealing with the 24. 24 is right on his toe, right on his bumper. Going for a speed boost and a bit of a speed kill there, but Eric Blount also currently just trying to stay on lead lap territory and try to stay out of trouble. Tim Lee into the wall though, off turn 2. Once again, another driver falling victim to that troublesome turn number 2. Nearly lost in the corner there, almost cost himself dearly. It's the second time we have seen that happen, and it's oddly enough just kind of becoming more and more of a reoccurrence. Blount right now moving his way in position to take over control as he will move ahead of Anthony Poston now. Poston is trying to hold Blount back. Blount's not going to give him anything but a hard lick and a run in the corners. Coming right through traffic, right through the field. Blount has now moved into the 6th slot, and the 6 side batteries machine has a 6 of Anthony Poston. Bear with me here, kind of falls back around him. Meanwhile, as you go on board here with Derek Paulson, he's a mad lad on a hot dash trying to get to that rattlesnake. Just see the overall power, control, steering. He is throwing everything at the rattlesnake, but Khan is just right in contention and still in control. Not giving him an inch, not giving up anything to him. Also now closing the gap off. Remember earlier on you saw it was like 5 second a gap between those two. Well, that's no longer there anymore. Khan is in deep, deep trouble. He's got company on his back bumper and he knows it too. Just finds himself in such a precarious situation, a tough little deal to deal around. Knows he's had a hand in literally trying to work this thing out on the track before and literally trying to hold off for just a little bit longer. Paulson, he's got the title all but wrapped up. This is just bragging rights between him and Khan. Sweet, sweet redemption, if you will. Going full on haymaker, no questions asked. Khan right now watching his mirror, watching his speed, watching the distance, and watching everything he's got. Knows he is in a very tumultuous spot. This is one of the toughest places to be put into, is when you have to actually outrace the other just to hold them off. Coming off to the back half right now, Tim Lee also being a bit of a thorn there to the 17. I don't know how much going to appreciate that too much. I think Tim Lee just making it a little bit interesting, but he does back off. That's Paulson on by. Lets him on by, but keeps the steady pace, the steady flow of streaming. Keeping on the track, keeping on the pace. Half a second now between 21 and 17. Khan just will not give an inch. Paulson is literally right on the mark, and Khan still not giving him an inch. Khan just trying to keep distance and keep himself at bay. Social distancing out more than I should have, in all honesty. But he has not given much more room. Paulson just doesn't want him to keep going away. He wants him to come back, wants to tell him something. But I think that's to say, I'm taking your spot, and I'm taking your throne here today, buddy. Looking for the run, looking for a position in as quick as he can. covering all tracks, all planes in the lane here. And it looks like Paulson might start to fade just a bit. Looks like, unfortunately, he did give up too much. And Khan snubbing him out of it, making sure he knows it. It is now the Rattlesnake's turn to start snubbing out the field, kind of start this track out and start to get further ahead of everybody else in this lineup here. Field starting to kind of clip around. Wait a minute, hold on. Speaking of clip around, I just had to figure this out again. Colin has actually had to go into pit road. Derek Paulson finally getting a leg up on him and has taken the race lead here. Colin, well, he may have outsmarted Paulson on the run, but I don't think he outsmarted him everywhere else. He's now lost his lead, and Paulson has 21 laps remaining. He's got to fight for. Remember, though, he went into pit road earlier, too, at a little bit of a later time. If I was Paulson right now, I would have probably thought about going to pit road sooner rather than later. But Tim Williams also breathing down his neck makes it a little bit more difficult to try to win this race outright, and he knew it, too. Very tall order. Khan has gotten back out of pit road now. He only took looks like he only took fuel and a little bit of tire there. Bit of a complete reversal on the track as much as it was in the track. This lineup of guys just continuing to just completely throw caution to the wind, throw the drive to survive out the window, and just go for broke. 19 laps remain, time running out. Also now making his way across. He's really lapping the third place driver, Eric Blau, on the X-Side Batteries Toyota Tundra. You can just look at this here. It is a wild little goose chase to have to even be thrown into like this. Paulson right now currently in the driver's seat, the catbird spot, the overarching storyline. But can he just hang on? Now the 6 is going at it a little again here. Anthony Poston, the other 6 looking to just kind of stick with them a little bit. Just kind of make things a little more interesting. Kind of staying to the speed, staying into the line there, but doesn't seem to be too phased by his little company. He just kind of got thrown around with there with the MF Racing Design 17. Poston actually driving a little bit harder there at the 17, and I don't think Paulson going to really appreciate that too much, but he knows he's going to have to kind of keep that open gateway to pit road if he absolutely has to. But I think, honestly, Paulson's going to go for an extremely, extremely long run here. This is a very, very risky move. Paulson knows this. But we said it once, we'll say it again. Sometimes the riskiest maneuvers sometimes can give you the biggest wins in there. Paulson still going with that very long distance strategy. Con right now kind of hoping that he'll not fall for it. Hoping that he'll take the route and go to pit road. Con knew that he had to take a huge risk, a huge dive in there. Yeah, there wasn't really much left he could do. And he's going to get his lap back away from Blount. Well, not his lap back, his position back from Blount. Because he's looking to try to get his lap back from Williams and Paulson with 11 laps to go. Tim Williams right now still hoping and praying for some luck, some help, anything at this point. But at this point, I think his time may have ran out. His moment may have gone to shots. I don't think he's going to get enough time to get right back into this time around. You can even hear how low Eric Blount right now is on his fuel marker and how he's driving around the track. Very much conserving the speeds, hitting his brakes when he needs to, just to try to keep the truck in one piece. He's trying to get around to Corey Coe in the 9, battle for the top 5. But Corey Coe continues to just kind of defend him out and hold him back. Coe, though, is giving him plenty of room and plenty of openings, so we'll see if he can get him around here. 9 will turn to 8 laps to go this time on by for Derek Paulson and Tim Williams when they get to it. The rest of the field currently struggling to get their lap back or just struggling to hang in it. A laps now set. And look at this, Coe giving plenty of chances to Poston. Poston trying to drop the number, drop the hammer, drop the run on him. He's looking for a good edge in corner, looking for a good distance around, but it's just not quite getting it there. He's looking for any opportunity he can, just still will not get to it. On board here with Corey Coe, though, as we get to the final laps here. You can see Poston driving a completely different line compared to Coe. Coe was driving a little bit tighter and a little bit more sanked off. Seems to be working just well enough for him to hang into that line, hang into that spot, and that's exactly where he needs to be. Derek Paulson right now finally going to be lapped back by Con. The problem is I don't think Con knows that his race is pretty much cooked if Paulson does not run out of fuel, and he's not looking like it right now. Con had a very unique strategy thrown to his route, thrown his way. Had a chance, actually, to try to outclass the field. But unfortunately, when he didn't go into pit road on the very first caution we had suffered through today, that is what ended up being his problem and his end to have to work around. Now he finally gets a lap back. But I think his race is all but done. 4 laps to go. Paulson, your leader. Meanwhile, Anthony Poston and Corey Coe still dealing with each other here. Coe just holding on to the top 5. Not by much, though, as Poston is driving hard, driving quickly to catch him. Three laps now, turns to just 2 laps to go. The 17 of Derek Paulson. Just continuing to make and break and drive this thing into the ground. Once again, another formulaic winning strategy, cooked, whipped, and brewed up. And Derek Paulson now will seize the moment and the opportunity. They've begun this race with heavy hearts and a moment of silence. Now the crowd roars to life as the MF Racing Design 17 of Derek Paulson takes the white flag, not only with the season championship locked up and took his way, but also literally taking the best drivers and putting them all over their heads and knocked off a spot. Derek Paulson off of corner number 3 and 4. And it is all but over. Paulson will win it all here at Phoenix Raceway. What a long, long day of racing, timing, control, and really just taking all that it was worth here on the track. Had to do everything, and I mean everything, just to get here, just to get to this point, to get to this mark. But he had done it. And just got word as well, race fans, that we will have time to talk with the top 3 guys. So sounds like we're going to go ahead and bring them in real quick and let their voices be heard. Let them be known. So without further ado, it is time at last to get to this. And we're going to go ahead and speak with the drivers, speak with the crew, speak with the guys all around here. Time to listen in to the final finishers today. We'll start them off here with, of course, the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn. And Kahn, once again, another very battle, hard charging around the track here. Oop, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Kahn, you got us? You got us, Kahn?
Got us, Con?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
All right.
Hey, Kahn, congratulations on this one yet again for a top 3 and a hard drive off here. I know you had a lot going on down on the track, but I mean, what a position to be put into.
Yeah, I should have pitted on that first caution, and I think that was the difference in it. But I'll tell you what, though, I think Derek would have won that one anyway. Though he, in the long run, man, he just he was a lot quicker than I was. So, congratulations to him for championship, last race of the year win. That's a good feeling to win it all at the end.
It certainly is indeed. We'll never let so. Congratulations, Kahn, on top 3 to round this out.
All right, thanks, man. Have a nice night.
You too. You too. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Kahn, you're our third place finisher today. Now time to listen in real quick with the second place finisher today, Tim Williams. He now joins us here on the show. Tim, congratulations once again, sir. A second place finish to the great Derek Paulson, the champion. I mean, that was a long road for you, but you hanged on there for second.
Yeah, I got lucky. I think I knew Derek. I wasn't going to win. I knew Derek or either Robert were going to win. When Robert pitted and I knew I had enough gas left, I thought, oh, Jesus. And then I heard him coming up behind me. But anyway, lucky me, I got second. I finally got a half-decent finish.
Gotta have decent finish indeed, and a second place finish, nothing to sneeze at. Tim, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Williams. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he has been crowned the winner and your champion of the Summer Series. Ladies and gentlemen, Derek Paulson, and congratulations on that, sir. And it has been an absolute wild contingent season, but you have brought home the meal and brought home the bacon for everyone in your family today, bud. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody you want to thank for that, or?
Yeah, I got to thank all the admins here at the pit stall, and Tim throwing this on for us. We didn't get quite the car count tonight. I suppose football season now, and I know a lot of people are on vacation and whatnot yet before the real fall begins. But I got to thank the guys who showed up. I got to thank you there up in the booth. I got to thank MF Racing Designs. If you ever need a paint made for any car, reach out to MF Racing Designs on Facebook. And I think that's about it.
All right. Well, Derek, what a long season it was, but a very big victory and championship settled to you. Congratulations on all of it, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Derek Paulson, your champion. And the man that will close out our night here on the show, race fans. A big thank you to everyone that tuned on out. Again, our thoughts and prayers, of course, to the young man there and our little 3-year-old and the man that holds him. We do appreciate love and support. We hope the best for you guys and hope you can find peace in due time with your grievance. Nevertheless, our thoughts and prayers here from us here at Pizza Racing TV, as well as everyone at home. Thank you so much for tuning in to these Summer Series races and all that. We thank you guys. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time when the green is flying high.